What is messed up in the world today? Shireen Abu Akleh was recently murdered by Israeli occupation forces. Shireen has been working with Al Jazeera and she has actually been reporting on the Israeli occupation of Palestine for longer than most of us have been alive. And recently she was murdered on the job. Now it's bad enough that we have to talk about the murder of a journalist, but it gets worse. The media is not doing us any favors. Again. The Associated Press says a journalist was killed by gunfire in the occupied West Bank. The shooting happened. Shooting? Really? Really? We can't just say that Israeli forces murdered a journalist who was clearly labeled as a journalist and they murdered her in cold blood on the job? We can't just say that? Oh wait, it gets worse. New York Times decided to pitch in with their invaluable insights. Al Jazeera journalist was killed during clashes. Clashes? Really? Really? Clashes. The only clash I saw was a journalist clashing with a bullet. And by the way, this isn't the first time this has happened. Shireen was murdered while clearly identified as press, and Razan Najjar was murdered while clearly being identified as a medical practitioner. A journalist and a medic were both killed 2 different times for doing their jobs by Israeli soldiers when the Israeli soldiers, and in this case sniper, knew exactly who they were shooting at. And if Israel just keeps getting away without any consequences as they murder journalists and medics in cold blood, then there's absolutely no reason for them to stop. And just imagine what they're doing to ordinary Palestinians who don't have a journalist or a medic written right across their chest. Imagine what they're doing to those Palestinians every day. Those Palestinians who live under occupation, who are living under oppression, living under apartheid. Just food for thought. May Allah have mercy on those who are murdered, and may Allah grant their families patience and grant them justice.